watch
How?
this?
How?
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 Ew,
How do you watch this?
Dude, I'm gonna pee my pants.
Hi, you're listening to How Do You Watch This, a movie review podcast where each week we recommend a movie in the genre we love, but they don't. My name is Megan and I love romance.
My name is Demi and I love horror.
And this week I had Demi watch a movie part of our celebrity crush common thread. I picked 17 again for Demi because he was my crush back when after I think High School Musical was like his big break, really when he came into the stratosphere and like every other cliche young preteen girl.
Yeah. I feel like Zac for me was like I started noticing him more for High School Musical 2.
Okay.
High School Musical 1, I wasn't really, I don't know. I was very into Disney, but I, for some reason, I think at that time was like on a different, maybe like Nickelodeon or whatever. And then that came out. And then High School
you had to
Musical
see him
2.
dance on a golf course. You were like, let me see him break it down.
Yeah, I was like, I see the vision now. And he's like watching this movie, I'm like, he is so pretty. Like I forget how pretty Zac Efron is.
Super pretty.
It's crazy. It's crazy how pretty he is.
Yeah, and I had a really big thing for pretty boys.
Yeah, I mean he's not only like pretty, he looks masculine too.
Yeah,
you know, so he's not just like pretty. He has like a nice jawline, but he's just everything is very just pretty. He's pretty eyes.
Yeah, he's an attractive man, and I think it was like I was pretty head over celebrity heels for him for probably until he got his jaw surgery done. Then it kind of like shattered the glass a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like he was a consistent crush
for a long time.
And now, like, even though he's like, it's been fixed, like his face is fixed, I'm like, I don't know.
And I feel bad because if it actually was medical, like, I'm not trying to be an asshole.
Right.
Like, you know, you have things that happen, but they didn't like do a great job, like with the initial reconstruction. And he just ended up having like a little bit of Squidward jaw, like
a smidge.
Yeah, just
like,
a smidge.
What was that movie he did recently?
He was in one with Nicole Kidman. I did watch it.
Before
the
that,
family,
the wrestling one.
So he was in, and I didn't watch this movie, but he was in The Iron Claw. Yeah. Was his jaw affected in that one?
Yeah, girl, he did not look
really.
Like
I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either, but he looks like a completely different person in that movie. It's like honestly insane.
Yeah, it's really sad when that happens, and I hope, I'm hoping that he's not. I'm hoping that it wasn't initially done for aesthetic purposes. Yeah, exactly. But so regardless, we're talking about Heyday, Zac Efron, 2009. This is right after High School Musical. And
you can tell.
You know, yeah, you can tell. And we were all swooning. I was swooning. 17 again. I was like, you know, that 2009. I was in high school. That I was early high school, young high school. I was loving it.
Yeah, no, I remember really liking this, really liking him in a movie and just wanting to watch it because of him. So they know what they were doing. And so, so this is a 2009 movie, PG-13. It's an hour and 42 minutes. It is a rom-com, director's Burr Steers, and we can jump right into it. So the reason why I say it seems obvious that's right after High School Musical is because the opening is Zac Efron playing basketball once again.
So this is, believe it or not, this was coincidental. It was already in the script. Yeah, it was already in the script. And then Zac Efron...
they had to hire Zac because of him doing basketball. Like, they had to.
Definitely had to be a part of it.
Yeah. They had to be like, you know what? Who's good looking? And
I mean, I think he was a shoo-in in general just because they're trying to make a big movie.
Yeah.
The first person they hired was Matthew Perry.
Okay.
And then, he's got the older crowd, the friends group, all
True.
of them.
Yeah.
And then they were like, and then Zac Efron has all the young girls. All the young girls are obsessed with Zac. Right. So it was like a shoe-in. And Zac Efron is quoted as having said that like he was very glad that he already had a basketball like know-how. And he did all the tricks and all the things that like he was doing those himself.
Yeah.
And so he said his pet peeve is when people play like act and they take on roles that they actually don't know anything about. So
okay.
Interesting. I mean,
he's a little basketball star. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he plays the character Michael Donnell. It's 1989. He's getting ready for the big game tonight. There's gonna be.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you again. I can't.
Go ahead.
His hair in 89 was so great. Oh my god.
It was so good.
I loved it. And then they changed it to the swoopy 2009 hair, and I was like, no.
I mean, I get it. It's supposed to be, he's supposed to be trying to match the time.
The era, which I'm sure in 2009, I was like, oh, that 89 hair is gross. But I love this little.
I know. No, it was so good. It looked so good on him. But it's okay. He still looks good.
It's fine. It's fine.
So, so there's going to be a scout for a college, and the coach is like, you're going to get in as long as you play the way you've been playing. And they go to take a picture. We meet his friend Ned, who runs it in a full wizard D&D costume. Signify he's a nerd. But Mike is good friends with Ned, and they've been friends since they were young. So he's like the towel boy, gets picked on, but they take their photo. Yeah. So then we have the game starting, and Mike is just like the star. The cheerleaders are dancing. He's jumping in there and dancing with them, and just having
showing
time
off his High School Musical dance moves.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, you have dance background. Show it off." And then his girlfriend shows up, Scar, and she looks a little nervous. And anyone, could assume that she's gonna have something to say to him. That is probably every teenage person's fear. So he's like, "Hey, baby, what's up?" And she's like, "Hey." And he was like, "I'll talk to you later," but he can tell something's up. He's like, "No, you have to tell me right now." And so she tells him, and you don't hear it, but you know that she's telling him that she's pregnant. So then he's playing, and of course he's like distracted. He's not focused, and he sees her leaving the gym, and he decides to leave with her. And it was a really nice moment. He's like, "You're my future. The kids are future, and I'm going to stay with you." I feel like he still could have played and got to college, but that's another story.
I agree. I mean, I know. I'm the
where
same
was
way.
The college going to be? It's probably going to be in the area.
Yeah,
it's like a small
town.
So.
Like multitask. But I don't know. It's a different time.
Yeah. It's it's the 80s, and I'm sure she would have needed support being a teenager. So so he decides to do that, and then we fast forward, and he's an adult. He's Matthew Perry now, and he wakes up in this really nerdy house, and it's Ned's house. And you can tell Ned's loaded because the amount of stuff he has in his house that I just know cost so much money is insane.
Oh, yeah.
And I immediately was like, oh, the gay best friend trope. Let me tell you, girl. So I'm just thinking that the whole time. Yeah. I love Ned.
That's hilarious.
I forgot that whole subplot. So we learn that Mike is going through a divorce. Scarlett basically kicked him out. His kids fucking hate him, apparently, according to Ned. And so things are just not going good. He works at a pharmaceutical company, and he's in a room, and the current manager is talking about their stats and all this stuff and about promoting a regional manager. And the room is like all young women except for Mike. And he promotes Wendy, who's this random girl that's been there for like 6 months.
Yeah.
So all the girls are like all excited, and they leave. And Mike's like, "What the hell? I've been here for 16 years.
Yeah.
I deserve it." And the guy was like, "Yeah, but like, you're really good. We don't want to, lose that." Some stupid excuse. So Mike quits, and now he is jobless. So he's just going through
not doing great. Not doing great.
He goes to the high school his kids are now at, and he's in the gym. He's like reminiscing. He sees the trophy container with it has photos and all that stuff. And he sees.
I always find it so funny, this trope of people who are obsessed with who they were in high school, and like that being.
I like can't imagine.
Dude, no
Cannot
way.
imagine.
It would literally be a circle of hell to have to go back to high school again. No, thank you.
Yeah, the most is I'll look through yearbooks and be like, oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, dude, I opened my Travis and I, every once in a while we look through our senior yearbooks.
Yeah.
To like, we both went to the same high school. So it's like fun. And I have like no signatures. It's like really sad. Like, what was I doing? Like, why did I get, like, I couldn't go up to people and ask? I guess I was too shy. I don't know.
God.
Mine's a sad, sad thing.
Yeah, I haven't looked at my yearbooks in a long time. I can imagine my final one. I probably did get a senior yearbook, but, like, I can imagine I probably didn't get a lot of signatures in that one. I probably had the most my freshman year.
Yeah.
I was, like, pretty popular, but still, like, nerdy popular,
Were you, like, in the same school from freshman to senior?
No. I went to a different school every year. So.
Oh my God. Yeah, so you had so many friends?
Well, luckily, I don't know what it was. People just like being friends with me.
You're hot. That's what it is.
Probably. It's probably the tits. But usually, like, some extrovert will find me and
latch
then
you.
I would become friends with people. So that's how I got lucky. But
That's
senior
nice.
year, I was friends with, like, sophomores mostly because I was new.
Okay.
So I didn't do, like, prom and all that because I didn't really know people, which is okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
No regrets.
Okay.
Anyway. So he's looking, reminiscing, and then a janitor who looks like Santa Claus approaches him. And everyone knows the trope, some old man that looks like Santa Claus is going to do some magic. And so he's like, would you want to do it all again? And he's like, yeah, I would. And janitor's like, are you sure? And Mike's like, yeah. So then the kids are all let out. The janitor disappears magically. He sees his daughter, and she's like, her name's Maggie, and she's played by the chick who died recently. I didn't realize it was her. I knew her
she
face.
died?
Yeah, she died in February from it was like a complication with diabetes or something crazy. Yeah,
that's horrible.
But she was.
Her name's like Michelle T. something. Trachtenberg.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I know she was popular for that movie, The Ice Princess, I think.
Yeah.
It was.
I loved that movie.
Yeah. So yeah, she passed away.
That's really sad.
Really sad. Cause I was like, I know her face, and then I looked her up and was like, oh my gosh, she was that actress that died.
I didn't realize it. I don't look at anything.
It's okay. You're only doing the facts for this. Would have been a good fact to know, but it's a good thing I know.
I do know Matthew Perry died. At least I know that. But,
true. He also
he
passed away.
He also is
R.I.P.
Gone but not forgotten. Yep.
Chandler was my favorite.
He was mine too. He was also, let's say, celebrity crush. I also had a little crush on Chandler.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely had a crush on Chandler. He was the man.
Yeah, he was the funny one, so he was the most attractive one.
The hot one. That's why he got Monica.
Yeah.
The hot one.
It is. Yeah.
So anyway, so he was like, hey, go get your brother. We're going to go get ice cream. And they go to this like really kiddie ice cream place, and his kids are in high school. He's like, well, you used to love this place. And she was like, yeah, when I was a kid. So he obviously doesn't have a good bond with his kids. His son is played by Sterling Knight. And he looks so young in this movie.
He's a baby.
Do you know how old he was? I thought he was the same age as Zac. Is he younger?
I'm pretty sure he is, because he auditioned for the role of
Mike.
High School Musical. In High School Musical, Troy Bolton, and then apparently like he was an aspiring actor, like struggling, wasn't getting a shot, so he hated Zac for getting it.
I mean, Sterling was the guy. He was, and we talked a little bit about this in the last episode. He was like that guy. So Zac coming in and booting him out. I could have seen him as High School Musical as Troy. I could see it.
Yeah, for sure.
But sorry, baby. Anyway, here he is. He looks literally 13. I was like,
he does, and honestly, this man has not improved much with age. Like he still looks pretty much like a baby face.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. His name's Alex.
Alex, yeah.
So Mag and Alex and Mike father, Matthew Perry, is asking Alex about basketball and how it's going, and Alex is like, oh, it's fine. It just seems like he's not interested or something's up. And Mike, of course,
I assumed he wasn't interested in basketball at all. Like, classic dad wanting his dreams to be pursued by his son sort of vibe.
Right. Especially Alex, like, playing video games. I'm like, all right, he's not a sports guy. No. But of course, Mike is like, we gotta, like, get you a scholarship, blah, blah, blah. All that typical dad stuff.
Yeah.
They go back to the house. The wife, played by beautiful Leslie
Mann.
She is destroying a bunch of shit, of Mike's shit, and she's cleaning up the yard because she wants to be a
landscape architect, landscape,
artist, which is a cool job.
Yeah.
And so she wants to fix up the yard, and Mike, it's you learn through their conversation that Mike would just constantly complain about what he missed out on, and he's like, oh, if I got a scholarship, I went to college, and I would have had enough money to pay for this and all this stuff. And
he's like, I would have had someone do this for me, which, joke's on you. My husband went to college and he still refuses to hire people to do stuff.
Did Travis have a basketball scholarship? Though?
You are correct. He was not a basketball player.
That, would have been obviously the difference.
Right.
And so, you could tell that Mike has probably complained all their fucking relationship, and probably made Scarlett feel bad, because both of them, takes two to tangle, but he left everything for her, and she probably felt a little bit of guilt with that. And so it's just like they just had that conversation. You just learn that about them, and it starts raining. Mike is driving back to Ned's house, and the radio's going crazy, and you hear the janitor's voice in it. I'm like, oh my god. And he's driving like on a bridge, and he sees a man standing at the bridge, and it's the janitor. And Mike is like, hey, like, get down from there. The janitor disappears as a truck goes by. So Mike runs to the edge, sees a swirling vortex at the bottom. It's giving Warriors of Virtue, if you've watched that. Anyway, I won't go into that.
Okay.
He's looking into this vortex of water and falls in. And then we next see him stepping out of a car covered in mud. We only see his feet. Walk in the shower, and then it pans up, and it's Zac Efron. So he has become 17 again.
Yeah.
And Ned hears something going on, so he goes and attacks. And of course, he sees a young guy showering, so he's going to attack him with his nerd gear. And so they're fighting the whole time.
Violently.
Yeah, Ned's out to kill, and Mike is like, it's me, like, I'm Mike, and it's just like Ned finally recognizes him as he takes a photo to slam on his head, and it's a photo of them when they were in high school. And I'm just like curious, like, if it would have been, like, it has been a while, it's been 20 years, so like, would you, if you saw someone that looked like your best friend when they were in high school, like, would you recognize them? No, I feel like I probably wouldn't. I think I'd have to see a photo and I'd be like, oh my god, you look exactly like that.
Right. It's hard to say because, like, you do change, but you don't change, like, your features in general are very, like, stay pretty similar. Like, obviously they're played by different actors, so it's not going to be the same facial structure. But
I think, like, women, it would be easier to recognize. You
think?
I think so, because when I was like 14, I pretty much looked as is. Like, I'd like changed a little bit, but like I really didn't change that much. I feel like for men, like, there 17 to 21, they can completely change in, like, height, body type, facial hair,
filling your face out.
So I think with women, it's like there's like minor changes, but early on, it's usually puberty is like pretty early. So I think for a guy, would it be a little
I think so, especially like thinking of, okay, if Travis was 20 years younger, if he was 15 again. Then it's like, he had like a baby. I mean, I would recognize him because I know him very well, but I wouldn't be like, obviously that's my husband.
I feel like I would not recognize Brett. Brett looks so different.
That's true. Brett looked
so different.
Way different. Brett did look way different. Travis looked different, but you know what? He did look quite a bit.
Probably has like the same-ish hair, maybe.
No, he was like buzzed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not much different.
Yeah, you're right. Not that much different. Brett has a lot more like, he's had more of an evolution in style.
It's like a Pokemon. From like 1 to 3, and Travis was like 1 to 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like matured up a little bit, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Ned recognizes him, and they're trying to figure out what happened. So through the power of like comic nerd knowledge, they deduce that this was a spirit guide that changed Mike, and that there's a reason for it. So Mike is thinking he has to go find the janitor again and be like, what do you want from me? So he goes back to the school, and he's asking around, and the one janitor lady's like, I'm the only janitor here.
Yeah.
Mysterious.
Yeah.
And then we see the lights flicker, and a puddle of water appears, and Mike follows it to a bucket, janitor bucket, and then it's right in front of the gym door.
Yeah.
So Mike's like, I know what I have to do. It's basketball. I have to play basketball. It's like, okay, Mike. And so he tells Ned that he thinks he's meant to go back to high school.
Yeah.
So he forces Ned to be his father.
And I'm going to say this is one of my favorite tropes. Is the scene where someone's like, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it, and then you see them doing it, and it doesn't matter how many times I've seen it, I'm like, I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. Good job.
I think it's a solid trope. It's always funny. And this, like, so gay-coded, I'm sorry. He shows up looking like literally Clay Aiken, like Mike tells him he looks.
Yeah, he does.
And Mike is dressed in full Ed Hardy gear with the bejeweled shirt and the hat. He just looks like a douchebag. Yeah. But he thinks it's, fashion. He thinks what's cool with the kids
I mean, I don't know what
now.
he's been looking at, but...
No, it's...
Yeah.
No. So they are trying to enroll him, and Mike has a folder, and of course they had to make stuff up. And so Ned like photoshopped a bunch of images, and then at the end it's just him as Luke with Yoda on his back, and him as Han Solo. He's like, "What is that?" And Ned's like, "Oh, those are for me."
So great.
What the? Ned is like, I like both hate and love Ned.
Yo, yeah, he's weird, but I love it.
So, and we're gonna learn why I like started hating Ned.
What?
In this next scene.
No way, Demi, you didn't like that? That's shocking.
So they go to speak to the principal, and the principal is played by, what's her name?
She was in The Office.
Yeah. And I was like, where's her face? I know her face. Yeah, it was The Office. Melora Hardin. And Ned immediately was like, oh my God. And I was like, Ned's not gay. I was shocked. Like, I have to put that as my most memorable scene, because I genuinely was like, I forgot about this whole subplot. And I was like, oh my God, he's like a straight man. Dude. There's no way.
I just recently saw like some sort of like Instagram or TikTok reel or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
I saw a video where someone did the scene where they're nerding out together.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, I remember.
Yeah. I forgot a lot of this movie, I'll be honest.
Okay. Yeah.
So, so he's immediately taken by the principal, and he shakes her hand, and he's like, our hands made a baby. He's saying weird stuff. Like, really inappropriate, and the principal is trying to, be mature and be like, okay, and lets Mike into the school. She's like, grade 8 student, whatever, we'll be happy to have you. And Ned is like trying to ask out the principal, and she's like, no, please leave me alone.
Right.
And so that doesn't end there, but we'll come back to it.
Unfortunately. It is a little bit aggressive.
So then,
a lot of it.
Yes. And then so Mike realizes that he doesn't look as cool as he thought. And Ned's like, I'm going to take you shopping because I don't want my son looking like a douchebag. Yeah. And so he takes him shopping, which includes a new car, apparently. Like I said, Ned's just loaded with money.
God.
I don't know what he does for a job. It's got to be some tech work.
He invented the software that keeps you from being able to illegally steal music, and he also invented the software that makes it so you can legally steal music.
Yes, that's right. So now Mike looks cool. He's got the shades and the V-neck, the cool leather jacket, and everyone's like,
and his hair is doing the official swoop.
The official swoop.
Yeah.
He looked good. So he's in class, and he sees Maggie, and he's like waving to her, and I'm like, Mike, like, you gotta realize that she's not gonna recognize you.
Right.
And Maggie's like, why the fuck is this new kid like waving at me? So she's weirded out by him. And then Mike gets a phone call from his wife, Scarlett, at divorce court, and she's like, where are you? He's like, oh, I'm gonna we have to postpone this.
Yeah.
I'm, you know,
out of the country.
Yeah, basically.
Doing some very important new Rogaine developments.
Yeah. So, because honestly, I forgot that shit was happening too. He goes to gym class. He's showing off basketball. And the coach is the same coach.
Yeah.
From 20
Jim
years ago.
Gaffigan. Yeah.
And right now, Mike is going as Mark. So it's now Mark O'Donnell.
Right.
He was like, hey, you should go try out for the basketball team. So then Mike is all excited. He goes to the bathroom, finds his son duct taped to the toilet, learns that the basketball team did this to him. And so he's very surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
And then he is hanging out with his son, Alex, at the cafeteria, sees that his daughter, Maggie's dating the head of the basketball team named Stan. And I'm sorry, there's like no world where a white man of that height is like the head of a basketball team. It just like doesn't make sense to me.
It's also the thing that didn't make sense to me more was the fact that this is like Alex's head bully and Maggie's just fine with it.
Maggie's the older sister that probably doesn't give a shit about little brother, so not surprised.
Can't relate.
Not surprised with that.
Mm-hmm.
Unless she's like doesn't fully know what's happening. It could be as well. So
yeah, that's true.
She doesn't seem to be like all fucking there. We also learned that Alex has a crush on the head cheerleader. Stan, of course, is coming over to Alex and Mike because Mike is just staring at him, upset that Maggie is making out with this fucking loser. And then he stands up to Stan and pretty much embarrasses him. Is showing off with the basketball and stuff. It's like, oh, wow, so cool. Standing up to the bully. And so it works because Stan is embarrassed. And Mike now realizes or thinks that his purpose is to help his kids, not basketball. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good
better
purpose. Yeah. Than to just play basketball at 17 again. So then he's hanging out with his son more, realizes that his son is actually pretty good at basketball.
Yeah.
And wants to try and get him on a team. So that is his goal with that. And obviously his goal was Maggie's to try and get her to break up with that fucking loser.
Yep.
Scarlett comes to the house and she's immediately like, you look just like my husband. It's like really weird. And she's just like touching his face and stuff and being weird. And
she's drunk. She's a little drunk. They did happy hour. So she's acting, not the most appropriately.
And so it's like sex ed. And Mike is like, what if we just say abstinent, Like, what about that? Yeah. And it's just like so funny to hear like this completely new kid is just
Could you imagine? I have like secondhand embarrassment for him where I'm just like, if you did that in high school, everyone would be like, you're ridiculous.
Yeah. And Mike doesn't really care. He's not there to be popular or whatever. He's there to help his kids. So he just doesn't care how he's coming off, but it's just like really funny.
Exactly, because you think about it, and I'm like, these are all the ways that I would have been acting if I was a 37-year-old in a 17-year-old's body. Like, I'm not going to suddenly try to be cool and like, you're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to flirt with people or whatever because no one's attractive. About that. Yeah, you're all children. You're the same age as my kids. Yeah, and I do appreciate that that's how they took it with this one because they could have been creepy with it.
They could have been,
and they didn't. They did have him actually like just being an adult man and giving like lectures and deep heartfelt talks, and I did like that because that's what you would do if you were in this horrifying situation.
Right, he's just like being a dad. And so the teacher's passing around condoms and Stan just takes a bunch and Mike's like, hell no. He's like, we should. He gets up and like, gives this speech about waiting for marriage because, love creates a baby. And he's talking about like first time seeing your baby girl and never wanting her to get hurt and all this stuff. And all the girls are like, oh.
Yeah, swoons.
So, all the girls like decided not to take condoms. And then Stan is like, more for me, and gives like a nasty comment about needing them for the weekend. And then grossly kisses Maggie. And so, of course, Mike jumps on Stan to like fight him.
Fair enough.
He gets pretty beat up by Stan. Stan's a bigger guy. And it gets recorded and it starts being shared everywhere. Fast forward a little bit, he runs into Scarlett again. He's just hanging around their house. Also, he's saying that he's Ned's son, like bastard son. And they're just like, someone had sex with Ned. And they just accept it. They're like, okay, I guess.
Right.
So he's talking with Scarlett, and Scarlett's showing him the yard and her plans, and Mike is like being a little weird, but obviously it's his wife. But like, it's like, bro, you don't want your wife to be like, oh, this 17-year-old is kind of hitting on me.
Yes.
And she starts getting a vibe, and she's like, hey, I know you guys are, boys your age are really into like cougars and stuff, but like that's not what's gonna happen here. And he's like, oh no, like I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking, I could just help you around because I'm, for volunteer work or some shit. So she was like, okay. So she accepts his help to, lug the heavy stuff and help her out a little bit. And so he's doing that. He's keeping an eye on his kids. And then Ned is just harassing this principal. So he's constantly trying to ask her for a date. And it's just like not working because she has no interest in him. And it's like, bro, please, like just, you are rich.
Take the hint. Take
you
the
could
hint.
probably find
no
someone.
No problem.
The nerd thing's not a problem.
No. Once you have money, they're...
Yeah. The fashion, confusing. But,
but are you open to critiques?
Yeah. Someone could be into it.
Yeah. That's true. Or that.
Someone could be into it. But anyway. He's obsessed with her. So that's a whole subplot where I'm like, please give it up. So then we learn that Scarlett has a date. And this is my deleted scene.
Oh, this is yours? Okay. Mine is different.
Okay.
I will tell you mine when it happens, but
okay.
I understand it. I understand why this is yours.
Yeah, it was just a little uncomfy.
Yeah, it's very uncomfy.
So she's supposed to go out dancing. She's like, yeah, I don't dance. But he's like, well, you're a great dancer. And he kind of sees her like practicing a little bit. He's like, oh, you should show me how to dance.
Yeah.
And he's trying to like hold on to her, and she's trying to set boundaries as any adult should.
Yeah.
And they end up dancing together, and he lifts her and is like carrying her, and and I think it's more so that she thinks that he looks exactly like her husband did.
Yeah,
he is.
She does a good job throughout the movie of setting boundaries, of making it not the least amount weird possible, but it's still like you can see that she's like seeing her husband in him, but not in this way where she doesn't seem like she's like ready to be doing illegal things.
Right. And, as Mike, I don't know, he should have just done things a little differently.
Yeah.
Because, like, you don't want your wife to be like, actually,
no.
17-year-old.
To a 17-year-old? No.
Even if it's you.
Yeah, it's still weird. In my mind, in like my headcanon here, he's just forgotten he's in his younger body.
Yeah, that could be it. He's,
yeah, it is weird. It is weird.
Yeah, but I chose this as my deleted scene. But he asks her if she'd consider staying with her husband, and she's like, I love him, but sometimes love isn't enough. And, heard that. So then we see Maggie run out after Scarlett leaves for her date, and Mike is like, Alex, come on, we're fucking Maggie. And it's like a party at a bowling alley, which is kind of funny for teenagers.
Right. Not what I expected at all. Yeah.
No. And so we see the head cheerleader there. Mike encourages Alex to go talk to her.
Yeah.
And it's working. It's, a little bit. He's awkward, but she seems to kind of like it. And then he lights himself on fire by accident with a candle. And he's like, I gotta go, and leaves. And then Maggie, meanwhile, is upstairs. Mike goes up to her, and he's like so awkward with her. And it is a thing where it seems like he does forget how he's presenting himself. Because, like, as Maggie would think, like, this guy is so into me, he won't leave me alone.
Yeah.
And that's not it at all. But he's like, why are you dating Stan? And she's like, he's the one. And we learned earlier she got accepted to Georgetown University. And she's like, now I'm going to go to a community college to stay close to Stan because he's going into the manager track
at Home Depot.
Home Depot. And so Mike is like, no, that's not gonna happen. And she's like, what are you, my dad?
Yeah.
And she runs off.
Yeah.
So things don't really go well at the party. So then there's a basketball game. It goes really well. And Mike is like, party at my house, because we learned that Ned finally managed to get a date with the principal after, just constantly
harassment
her. Yeah. She's like, it's not a date. We're just gonna go. Nothing crazy. I don't want anything crazy, because he's showing off his money. So she knows he's loaded. She doesn't care about that. And so the house is free. So Mike's like, all right, party at my house. And so then we'll start with Ned. And oh my God, what's the principal's name? I keep calling her Principal.
Principal Masterson is all.
We'll just keep Principal Jane. Yeah, Principal. So
Okay.
they're at like a real fancy restaurant, and Ned does this thing with the wine that would have, like, every
Big
egg
egg.
possible is just coming from this man.
Yes.
And he's like, I don't know how to act normal. And the principal's like, yeah, I get that. And
Yeah.
he's like, I'm the type of guy that'll pay $2,000 for Gandalf the Grey staff from Two Towers. And she's like, Gandalf the Grey is not in the Two Towers. It's Gandalf the White.
Gandalf the White.
And so they start speaking Elvish immediately. And
so great.
So we realize that the principal is a huge nerd, and she's immediately turned on by Ned's nerdiness that matches her nerdiness. And I'm just like, nerdy guys are like a dime a dozen, you know? Like, are you really that impressed?
Not hard. It's not hard. Yeah, you could find easy. Go to a convention, you'll have your pickings.
Yeah, that type of nerd. They had the money, they'd be that.
Yeah, that's true. It's true, though. It's the whole package.
So the date's going well. They continue to speak Elvish like the rest of the date, which is impressive. I would be
very impressive. I don't know anyone who can speak Elvish like fluently.
There was someone in high school I knew that taught himself Elvish. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So there are people out there. There. So then that's happening. She's like, let's go to your place, or your place or mine. They decided to go to his place. We'll cut back to the party. So many people there. Everyone's having the time of their life. Alex is talking to that cheerleader. Things are going really well with them. And then before this, I forgot about Maggie.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So after the game, Mike finds Maggie crying, and we learn that Stan broke up with her because Stan wanted to try and do a little, and she didn't want to do that. So he broke up with her, and so she's upset, obviously. And Mike is like, screw that guy. You're going to find someone that's really going to love you for you and all this. And Maggie's like, yeah, you're right. And she immediately starts just like really throwing herself onto Mike. And Mike's like, okay, I'm having a party if you want to come. And she's like, yeah, I'll be there. And so already Maggie's like, yeah, Mike is the one for me. And it's just like, girl.
I hate this subplot. This next one is my deleted scene.
Okay. Yeah, it was between. Yeah, I was going to maybe pick this one, but I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's fine. So they're at the party. Stan approaches Maggie. He's like, hey, I'm sorry, but what happened? She's like, no, I'm with someone else. And then at that moment, Mike shows up and was like, yo, leave her alone.
Yeah.
Stan punches the shit on Mike. He gets knocked out. He wakes up in Maggie's lap, and she's being,
massaging his head.
A little weird with him, and Mike's freaking out.
This is like a callback to Back to the Future, where like the second one, where he gets knocked out and he ends up in his like mom's lap.
Yeah.
So that's where that comes from.
So he's panicking, of course, and Maggie's like, just really trying to do stuff with him. And
she's acting like a tiger. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wish that they did not do this plot. Like, we did not need it. I did not need there to be any sort of, she doesn't know it's her dad.
She doesn't know it's her dad. And Mike obviously isn't saying anything because it wouldn't make sense. So then,
I'm your father.
Yeah. He's like, sorry, I'm like confused. And she was like, oh my God, it makes sense. You're gay. He's like, I'm not gay.
Like, I would have run with that at that point. Just run with it.
Yeah, I would have ran with it.
What's it gonna matter?
No, it doesn't matter. But he was like, I'm just in love with someone else. And she's like, who is it? Do I know her? And he's like, no, and leaves before anything else can happen. So that situation's awful and awkward. And then Scarlett shows up because Alex isn't answering his phone and is past his curfew.
Yeah.
So then Mike sees her and brings her to the balcony so he can show her where Alex is. And he's, hitting off with the cheerleader. And Scarlett's like, this is great. Like, he has a male role model. I'm happy. And you're like a good friend. And Mike decides to kiss her. And so she freaks out and slaps him. And then Maggie and all her friends see that he did that. So then they all go up to him and slap him.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be happy to see this guy that I like kissing my mom.
No.
So at that point as well, Ned shows up with the principal and is freaking out because everyone's touching his shit. I would be too. It's very expensive stuff.
My God.
And they only managed to get their attention by the principal whistling and forcing everyone out. So then the principal is like, this is why I don't like to date my students' parents.
Yeah.
was really hoping this would be, kind of like secret, and leaves. So everything's ruined. So Ned slaps Mike a few times.
Yeah, 3 or 4
excessively.
times.
But then he's like, I forgive you. Whatever. It's fine. So things are bad for
Yeah.
everyone. It's the next day. It's the day of the divorce court. They have to quickly drive over. And this whole scene was just like goofy because Mike is just walking in with Ned.
Yeah.
And Scarlett's like, that's Mike's best friend. I don't know why he's here.
Yeah.
And so before they could be shoot out, Mike or Mark is like, wait, I have a letter from Mike.
Yeah.
And reads this whole thing about how when he fell in love with her first time he saw her, and all like really, really nice stuff.
Yeah, sweet.
Very sweet letter. And so then they get pushed out, and Scarlett's like, you know what, can we postpone this? So they postpone it for another 30 days, and she goes to see the letter that Mike left, and it's actually directions to the courthouse. So Mike was just ad-libbing that shit, which is impressive. And
it was like very detailed explanations of like what she was wearing the first time he saw her, like all that stuff that like this random kid is not gonna know. Yeah. So she's like, that's suspicious. And then so Mike now is like, I fucked up everything. I'm just gonna go play basketball and get my scholarship. Yeah. And it's like, that's fair. At this point, if nothing's working out, you might as well just start over. So Scarlett's also looking at the yearbook, and she finds a photo of him and sees exactly the same. And she's like, this shit is weird. Yeah. They go to the next basketball game, and Scarlett, sees him there playing. The principal and Ned make up. He shows up in his invisibility cloak. More nerd shit where she just can't. She's obsessed with it. She can't resist. Yeah. It's her kryptonite.
Which is like funny.
Yeah.
So then Mike does this thing where he like kisses and then throws it. Yeah. And Scarlett recognizes that, and she's like, oh my God. And she's like, I can't be here. And she gets up to leave, and it's the same exact situation. He's playing, he sees her walking out, and he decides to leave with her. Yeah. And basically Alex, his son, is the one that's going to take the mantle of the game. So he chases after her, and she's kind of hiding behind the pillar, and he runs, and the vortex appears, and he's Matthew Perry again. He's an adult. Yeah. Thank God. And so she was, realizes it's him, and he, tells her that he is sorry for everything, and there's a lot that he promised, and he wants to do better and all this stuff. And they make up, and it ends with them walking out, and then we see him again at Ned's house, and the principal is in the bed in like full elf gear, with Ned also in elf gear. And I was like, Brett, this could be us. And now we learn that Mike is the new coach, and so that's cool. That's a cool position for him to have. And Ned gifted him like a coach whistle and stuff. And
he's like, don't worry about the price. And it's literally a whistle. I was like, that's funny.
He's like, don't blow it. And I'm like, I like that. And then the movie ends. And the the best part about this ending was Brett coming downstairs. And he came down when the basketball game was happening. Okay. And I told him it was High School Musical. And not fully realizing that Brett literally has no idea like anything with High School Musical.
No.
So he's watching this.
No.
We see, Matthew Perry come out. And he was like, is that supposed to be Zac Efron? And I was like, yeah, that's what 20 years does to you. And he's watching this. He's watching the end. And then we see the scene of the principal and Ned in the bed together. Brett's like, is this the last High School Musical?
Stop.
He's like, does it really end like this? And I was like, no, this isn't actually High School Musical.
Stop. That's so funny.
Imagine this ending for High School Musical.
Could you imagine if this was the iconic High School Musical ending to the trilogy?
Oh my God. And Brett was like, I don't know. I didn't know. He's like, I didn't know you were joking. So I really could have run with that, but I just
you should have never told him. You should have never told him.
It's like, yes, Troy Bolton is Matthew Perry 20 years later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the end.
That is incredible. 10 out of 10 prank.
it was good. Yeah.
It was good.
Unknowingly pranking.
I know. That's really funny.
All right.
Ready for some fun facts?
I'm ready.
Okay. So the movie itself is a remake of the Disney television movie Young Again from 1986, which actually stars Keanu Reeves in one of his earliest roles.
Really?
Very similar. It's like the same concept as man, like not the same, but like a very similar concept of a man who's dissatisfied in his 30s and wants to be 17 again.
Well, do you remember that that one movie with Tamara, and it was called like Young 17? I thought it was like called 17 Again. Yeah, it's called 17 Again. And I was like, oh, I remember this movie. And I was like, is this like a remake? But I wonder, because it was originally a Disney thing, they were able to just do remakes.
Well, it's funny that you said that, because one of the arguments they had, I didn't know that movie was a thing. One of the reasons why Zac Efron is 17 in the movie and not 18, which Leslie Mann was trying to make him 18. She was like, this, because it's like, let's make it legal.
Right.
Like slightly less weird. And there was a movie called 18 Again about an 81-year-old man who switches bodies with his 18-year-old grandson.
Okay.
And so they didn't want to do it because it had that name. But it's funny that 17 Again had a movie.
Yeah, and it's spelled out 17 Again.
Okay, maybe that
so
was it, because it was the full number.
Yeah, because this movie came out 2000.
What was
So the premise is that the grandparents get turned young again. And so, Tia and Tamara, the one twin is the granddaughter, and her younger brother is like really into science and shit. And somehow something happens and the grandparents get turned young, and the grandmother is the other sister. It looks just like the granddaughter. And they have to pretty much get the grandparents to like get back together again. So like their relationship was on the rocks, I guess, as an old couple.
Okay.
And they learn to like love each other again. I really enjoyed it. I'm a big Tia and Tamara fan.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it when I was younger. But yeah, it was just funny when I was looking up 17 Again, that came up.
That's
and
hilarious.
I was like, oh my God,
I didn't
remember
know
that movie.
that. Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah. So
oh my God,
I feel like watching it.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a goodie, I think. I don't know if it still holds up, but
well,
I rewatched Twitches.
Did
not hold
up.
And I loved that movie when I was young.
I do remember that one, but like in the dregs of my memory, I just remember Tia and Tamara. Like,
I mean, they were iconic. So
yeah. So this is the last movie that Matthew Perry was in before he died.
Oh my God.
Yeah, which
Really?
is crazy. Yeah, 2009. He died in 2023.
Oh, wow.
Really, really wild. He did at one point, there were like two different times where there were like three different things with Zac Efron that he actually wanted to do. He said during his because he wrote his memoir, and he was promoting it, and he was talking about how he actually had a rom-com script that he had written. And he had written it with himself as the lead in mind, but then realized he was like, oh, I'm 20 years too old for this. And he wanted Zac to play the lead. And for whatever reason, Zac turned it down. He also wanted to reprise 17 Again and do a sequel. And Zac also turned that down.
Oh, so Zac killed him.
Yeah. Basically. I was like, why'd you say no to all these things, man? But then he found out posthumously, we found out that Matthew Perry wanted to do a biopic of his life. And he wanted Zac Efron to play him. So he loves Zac Efron,
what was
clearly.
His obsession with Zac?
I don't know. I was just like, dude, what? And Zac said, like, oh, he would be honored to do that role. But I'm like, bro, what is going on with you two? Yeah, interesting. And apparently they developed like a bit of a friendship, and like Zac Efron really appreciated and respected Matthew Perry, said it was like one of his idols. And if he ever had any questions while filming, he would like call Matthew Perry. So Matthew was saying that when he was at a party and he got a phone call from Zac Efron, and he was like the envy of all the girls at the party. And it was basically like Efron would be like, hey, I'm acting this line, I'm saying this. How would you say it? Because I guess he really wanted to emulate what Perry would have been like in that situation.
Okay.
And they did that a lot with this movie where Perry would act out the scene and then Efron would emulate the acting for that. So I think that's like really nice that he kind of immersed it because he did feel like an older man.
He did. I thought Zac did a
played.
good job with, portraying an old man in the young body.
Speaking of that, like originally when he heard about the story, Zac Efron wasn't super into it because he didn't think he had the chops to play like a 37-year-old man. He's like, that's a big ask. And he didn't think the story sounded great. But then when he read the script, he was super into it. So he accepted the role. So I don't know. It's very interesting, like those interdynamics. And I was like looking up, like, why did he turn down the other roles? But it could be anything. It could just be he was busy. Like Zac Efron has been a busy man in his acting career. Like he only recently slowed down a bit, but like still in a bunch of stuff. So
he was in a lot of stuff. So it could have been something like that,
Yeah.
But or maybe he just didn't really want to do rom-coms because
it's possible.
Hasn't really been in a lot of.
He did do
romance.
Another one called, I think it's called That Awkward Moment or something. And I did watch that. That came out when I was in college. I think it's like a 2013. So he did do something then. But other than that, it was like, Greatest Showman, which I really wanted to give you, but we'll save that for, I know. The Greatest Showman. Don't worry, I'll still give it to you at some point. It's got love stories in it. It's got love stories.
Yeah, it's got 2 of them.
Yeah. Yep. Apparently Zac had a little crushy crush on Leslie. So
obviously,
no surprise. No surprise.
No surprise.
Absolutely zero surprises there.
She's gorgeous. Yeah.
He said it was very effortless to have to do the kiss scene. Like obviously.
Oh, Zac, that'd be gross.
I mean, don't share that. Don't share it. Come on. He also was dating Vanessa Hudgens at the time. Like, I'm sure she didn't love that.
Yeah, definitely.
But whatever. Whatever. Another big thing is that they wanted to make sure there was zero sexual chemistry between Zac and the daughter role. So they had to bring in lots of girls. And the problem was most girls were very attracted to him. And so they would like have them read the lines. And then if they were attracted to him, they were like, okay, we can't do this, can't do this, can't do this. So it ended up working out with like him and Michelle, where she was not like outwardly super into him. And, they had chemistry as characters, but not as like intimate partners.
I would have failed that.
Yeah, 100% would have failed. No matter how hard I tried. I couldn't. They would have been like, this, get her out of here. How horrible to not get a job because your co-host is attractive.
I know.
So that is 17 again.
Okay. Lots of facts for it. I wasn't sure if we were
so
gonna get
many
a lot,
facts.
So.
Yeah, well, I started, and when I first started digging, I didn't find a lot. And then I went deeper, and it turns out if it comes to Zac,
Yeah, something will come up.
Yeah.
So, main character, I'm gonna pass. He is 17. And Matthew Perry wasn't doing it for me. I just like Mike is, I think Mike means well, but he's just like, I don't know. I mean, typical midlife crisis type of guy, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Side character Scarlet Smash.
Yeah.
Fall in love. I was like, it's like a weird situation. I put 7. If I was Scarlett and I loved my husband, but he's just an asshole, and then went through all this stuff to, better our kids' lives in high school and all this stuff, and then still ran after me, I'd probably, fall back in love.
Yeah.
So, but, he also was a teenager for a bit. It would have been a little weird, but
yeah.
I wasn't sure if I'd recommend it. I said no. I don't think this is like a classic for me.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it, but I also was kind of like waiting for it to end. I wasn't enjoying it as much.
Okay.
It was like fine.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I would recommend it.
Okay.
If you're a Zac Efron fan, like sure. But,
Yeah, I had fun with it. It wasn't like I wasn't bored of it, but I was also embroidering throughout. So I wasn't taking notes. That was probably less fun.
Yeah, not really. So what would you rate it?
I think 3.9.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's as high as being like a fun rewatch without having like it was good background noise sort of a movie. I enjoyed it. I did like it. I would watch it again, but not like it wasn't like high caliber.
Yeah. Yeah, I ended up giving it a 3.
Okay.
Because I just it was fine. There wasn't anything really memorable about it, especially
That's
considering
fair.
I didn't remember a lot about it anyway.
Yeah.
So it was like watching it new again. I'm like,
yeah.
It's not that memorable.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I can see it. For me, it being a romance, like it's a fun rewatch, but it's not like, it's not the best movie I've ever seen by far. Roger Ebert gave it 3 out of 4. So he gave it a little higher than you, but he liked it too.
Okay, Robert. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. He liked it. Decently enjoyable, pleasurable. Yeah, pleasurable film, I think is what he said. So, yeah. Okay, so for our next watch, we're doing something a little bit different. Not that different, but we're going to have a moment of acknowledgement to a series that really changed the trajectory of our life. And we, it's been 20 years since the book Twilight came out, and it's only fair that we now acknowledge and give a moment for the 5 films, the Twilight series, for next week's episode. So we're going to do a very brief overview of the first one and then kind of give cliff notes of the next 4. If you haven't seen, highly recommend you give them a watch. But this is a horror/romance combo.
Horror in the way of, many things are horrifying while watching this movie.
Several horrifying elements to it, but it's got vampires. It's got shifters.
It's got death. It's got a lot of beheading.
A lot of beheading. Decent amount of blood.
Yeah.
So
it's got the horror.
It does. So it'll be a fun little watch. Demi and I actually already watched them all together this past week, so primed and ready to talk. Very excited. It's gonna probably be a longer episode.
Yeah, we'll try to control ourselves.
Yeah, we're gonna try not to have it be 2 hours.
Yeah, it won't. I'll chop everything.
Thanks for listening to How Do You Watch This? You can find us on Instagram at How Do You Watch This, TikTok at How Do You Watch. We are on YouTube at How Do You Watch This, or email us at howdoyouwatchthis@gmail.com. If you like the show, support us by giving us a review or recommend to a friend. Thank you. See you next week. Bye.